6 weeks ago, I decided that I was done dieting, and I made a video about it and said I would give you an update in, 4 to 6 weeks on how that was going. I've decided I'm going to keep filming an update every 6 weeks until I get sick of it, I guess. But for me, this is a journey of my health, and so it's going to be continuously ongoing. And I mean, will it ever really end? So often we just think of health as our physical self, and I guess that's why I want to clarify that I said it in the first video, and I'm going to say it again a couple times here, that it's the mental health and the mindset that for me is the most important piece of it. In my last video, I talked about my Get Happy plan and how being happy was so much more important than like losing weight and those like physical side effects that, like, yeah, I hope they happen, but ultimately I want to be happier and not be stressed out about what my body looks like and constantly dieting and counting calories and all that other miserable crap that goes along with that. So I did actually end up losing weight in these last 6 weeks, and I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of this video. If you haven't seen my first I'm Done Dieting video, I'll post a link to it up here and in the description. But just a super quick summary is basically I've been dieting for like over 25 years, and I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of feeling bad about myself and about my body and my weight and all this other crap that has literally followed me around since I was like 6 or 7 years old. It's like so stupid. I'm done taking diet and fitness advice from anybody else. And especially, like, please be careful about who you're taking advice from on YouTube. I came across someone saying that juicing was good for you because it removed the fiber and then your body doesn't have to deal with the fiber. Your body is probably begging you for fiber. Only 5% of Americans get enough fiber. Honestly, it was my frustration with the bad advice on YouTube that kind of got me here to this position. I decided I was done doing the diets and the fitness plans and, listening to other people's like get healthy with me routines and stuff. And I started listening to myself, and I created this Get Happy plan because I know what I need, and that's to focus on my mental well-being and not just this goal of getting skinny. The things people do to get skinny is sad. I know in my own life that how I look on the outside is a reflection on how I'm feeling on the inside and like how I'm treating myself and taking care of myself. I've been pretty honest in a lot of my videos about my struggles with depression and anxiety and like self-love and self-confidence. If I'm depressed and feeling like crap about myself, then I can pretty much guarantee that I'm overweight because I don't care about what I'm eating. I'm probably not moving my body at all, just like laying around and sleeping a lot. And I'm probably being really mean to myself in my head. Like, fat loser was one of my favorite criticisms of myself for a lot of years. I also used to drink a lot of alcohol when I was depressed, and it just made everything worse. I just filmed a video last week called My Decade in Review, where I look at the last decade of my life, and depression and drinking were two of the common themes, so I'll post a link to that video. Today is actually January 5th, 2020, and it's 6 weeks to the day from when I filmed my first video, I'm Done Dieting / my Get Happy plan. The 3 parts of my Get Happy plan were my mindset, my movement, and my nourishment. I thought in this follow-up video that I'd kind of be going through those 3 categories and how each one of them went, but they're basically all went the same because like everything's connected, and which is what I talked about in the first video. Like, your mindset is going to affect everything else, which is why my mindset is my #1 priority. Today, January 5th, I feel great. I am in a really good place mentally, and it's just making me happy. But honestly, like those first 4 weeks after I filmed that first video, that was the weekend before Thanksgiving, so it was basically the 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I think that's like a crappy time of year for a lot of people. I feel like these last 2 weeks have been really good, but those first 4 weeks was... I tried to start incorporating some of the habits I had talked about in the video, but like December it's always a struggle for me, I feel like. A big part of why I don't like December is my seasonal depression. This usually starts kicking in then. It's like this dreariness, like I'm looking outside and it is just pure overcast, and it can be like this for like days at a time. Like sometimes I don't see the sun for like 3 or 4 days, and it's like that affects us as human beings. And I think it affects some people more than others, which is why I think some people can thrive in cold environments and some people, like me, just like suffer every winter. December is also kind of stressful because of the holidays, but like I'm a single chick. Like I'm not stressing about like Christmas for my kids or anything. So sometimes I think it's more that I just like absorb that stressed out, crazy, busy energy that like is everywhere you go. Like every shop you go out to, people are just like running around like maniacs, it seems like. So those 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas just like weren't the best for me mentally, and I didn't really start moving my body either. I was just feeling kind of lazy and lethargic, as like comes with the down mood. So I didn't like meet any of my movement goal of like 3 times a week. For my nourishment, my commitment to more whole food, plant-based, and less vegan junk food, well, I have to get rid of the vegan junk food, right? So like I had vegan sausages left over, a couple bags of vegan cheese, packs of vegan cream cheese, a bunch of veggie burgers, popcorn. I mean, I ate a lot of vegan junk food because I already had it. Confession, I did buy more like vegan cheese and vegan sour cream because I was making like a 7-layer bean dip 3 times like over the holidays. And yeah, I probably could have picked something a little healthier to take around to the Christmas parties, but... So I'm not going to beat myself up for those like 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's done. These last 2 weeks, I've just felt great. These last 2 weeks, I've given myself time and space to like rest, relax, recharge. I've said no to a few things and like really tried to not feel guilty about that. That is something I really still struggle with, is like saying no and not feeling guilty, especially because isn't it the introvert's dilemma? Like you want to get invited to the party, but you don't want to go. I don't know where I read that, but I like really relate to it. Like when you don't get invited to stuff, you sit at home feeling like a loser, but then when you do get invited to stuff, you're like, oh, do I want to go? Do I feel like getting people-y today? Don't get me wrong, I love people and I love to be social and stuff too, like within boundaries. So I'm working on getting better at fulfilling my need for socialness, but also taking care of myself and giving myself that time to recharge. Like, I think that's why we get so burned out around the holidays too, is like trying to do all the things and see all the people and all the parties, and it's a lot. For my mindset portion, I specifically talked about my morning routine, evening routine, and then like the way we talk to ourselves, like in our heads throughout our day. So my morning routine has been pretty stellar. I feel pretty good about my morning routine. The thing that I struggle with my morning routine is getting my damn butt on my meditation pillow. I enjoy making videos so much, and like the planning, the creating, the editing, like all parts of it. And I often wake up in the morning with like ideas and like, let's go. And so sometimes I've gotten into this really bad habit of doing my lemon water, coffee, brush my teeth, that good stuff. But then I grab my laptop and go right back to bed and just start working. And so I just jump right into working and don't ever end up on my meditation pillow then that day. And I know meditation is what my mind needs. I know how good I feel. So 6 weeks from now, hopefully my update will be that I have gotten back into my consistent meditation practice. Christmas present I got myself is a new journal, and this is a 1-line-a-day journal. So this journal will actually last me 5 years because it gives you about 5 lines a day, and then you go and it'll last 5 years. I'm hoping my gel pen lasts this whole year so that I could use like a different color every year. I think that would be cool. That's the kind of stuff I like. And you know, when you have a journal and you kind of want to review things, like I think this will be such a very clear indication of like how I'm feeling January 1st or my birthday or first day of summer or whatever it might be. In the first video, I talked about how I need to develop a better evening routine and stop playing so much Candy Crush. That hasn't happened yet. I set up the alarm on my cell phone to remind me every night at 8 o'clock that I should be starting my evening routine to like go to bed at 9, and yeah. Let's just say that in 6 weeks, I hope to have a more positive update on that portion of my life as well. So the way I feel like so good mentally and I feel like my mindset has improved so much, I feel like I can give the biggest credit of that to really focusing on the way I talk to myself all day long. Things aren't perfect. I have bad days. Like I said, I still have seasonal depression, but overall, I legit, seriously, like feel the best I have in my entire life. Maybe not when I was like a kid before, like when I can't remember when I was a kid, when I wasn't worried about anything. I mentioned I made that video about my decade in review, and that was so therapeutic, and just seeing how far I've come over the last decade, seeing the things that held me back in the last decade, and I don't know, it just brought me so much clarity, so much peace of mind, and so much confidence in who I am and who I want to be, and like the goals I have for myself and the direction I want my life to go. I've really been putting into practice like catching negative thoughts and replacing them with positive thoughts, because if you listen, most of your negative thoughts are really stupid and like not even realistic. Like me telling myself I'm a loser, like when I'm feeling lonely or I'm left out, or like my friend blows me off when we have plans and I just like start feeling like crap about myself. Instead of like going deeper into that misery and like wallowing, and then it's like not this one incident of your friend blows you off and you're a loser, but then it's you start adding up every time anybody's ever blew you off in your life or broke plans, and you just like, ugh. So I don't, but I catch myself in that thought, and it's like, no, I'm not a loser. This person just doesn't care about me enough to like keep our plans, and that's a reflection on them and the way they treat people and not me. And I get to decide if I want to allow people like that in my life. Trying to talk to myself positively when those negative things come in, and then like giving my cats a hug. Usually Penny, because you know, Ted's got attitude. There were 2 books that were really helpful for this kind of portion of the mindset where you're talking about like that voice that's in your head that doesn't shut up and it's not exactly positive. The author's name is Michael Singer, and the first book I read of his was called The Untethered Soul, really speaking to what's going on in your subconscious mind in that never-ending stream of chatter, and how we can use meditation as a tool to help us with our lives. And then the second book I read by him was called The Surrender Experiment, and that was totally mind-blowing of like what can just happen when you just like kind of let life be and not try to control everything. Being controlling, I think, kind of runs in my family. So surrender is a beautiful concept to me. So I really recommend both of his books. Part 2 of my Get Happy plan was my movement. And I mentioned like those first 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas, yeah, not a lot of movement. Basically like whatever like yoga classes I filmed for my online studio was about all the movement I got, and like walking around shopping. I actually think I gained a couple pounds during that time. I got on the scale and definitely had gained a couple pounds, and then I was like, this is why you're not getting on the scale. Which I attribute the weight gain to all the vegan junk food I was eating those 4 weeks. I don't think it was like lack of movement necessarily. So now these past 2 weeks that I've been doing much better, especially mentally feeling just really good, I have got on my yoga mat every single time before I get in the shower, because I have a ritual where I put my towels in the dryer for like 10 minutes before I get in the shower so my towels are warm. So it's been only about 10 minutes I've been on my yoga mat, but it's better than what I was doing, which was pretty much nothing. So by my next update, my plan is to be on track with my plan, which like I said was pretty simple, 30 minutes 3 times a week. You know, maybe I need to even say 20 minutes 3 times a week just to like get myself going. And part 3 of that Get Happy plan is my nourishment, which I've already talked about. I ate a crap ton of vegan junk food for those like Thanksgiving to Christmas time. But these last 2 weeks or so, I have been super like whole food plant-based. And I mentioned today's January 5th. Specifically, pretty sure I ate junk food on New Year's Eve. But for all of January, I have only had 1 meal that was not whole food plant-based. And I believe it was January 1st, I finished off the cookies that I had left over from Christmas. But besides that, it has been like fruits and veggies and whole grains, and it's been tasting so good. Like once you stop eating chocolate every single night, your body is happy to just have the sugars that come from fruit every night. Like last night, my sweet snack was 2 little bananas, and they were awesome. They were the perfect ripeness. I filmed a video for the new year about habits I want to take into 2020, like rather than resolutions, and the whole food plant-based instead of vegan junk food is one of them. And the other thing that I mentioned in the diet video too is more water, less Diet Coke and coffee. And I've been doing really good with the less Diet Coke, maybe a tad bit less coffee than I used to do, but I love my coffee, man, especially iced coffee. So I'm actually filming a lot more recipes, and I'm having a blast doing it. I call them my vegan vlogs, because I'm not like super serious Rachel Ray, well, not like Rachel Ray's serious, but I'm not super serious in them. It's more like vlog style, and yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Side note, I've said plenty of times that I eat vegan junk food. I'm trying to become more whole food plant-based, and I'm trying to develop recipes that go with that. Like I already have, you know, a good handful of recipes that I do use, but I also have like vegan junk food recipes that I've been sharing on my channel as well. I don't understand why people are hating on me for the vegan junk food recipes. Like, at least it's vegan. At least I'm not promoting the harm of animals with my recipes. So like, why are you trolling me because my recipe isn't vegan enough? I don't understand trolls, but sorry, off topic. I think that's about all for my part 2 update. Oh, I didn't talk about my weight loss. Because as I mentioned, weight loss is not my goal for this. I hope it's a byproduct of getting healthier, but like I said, like getting happier is the real goal. And seriously, just filming this video, I feel like it has such a different vibe than my first video did. Like, I can't wait to edit it. I feel like my happiness is like radiating into the camera. I don't know. So I mentioned that between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I was actually up a couple more pounds. So I'm not even counting those. I am counting from what I weighed myself 6 weeks ago before I filmed that first video to what I weighed this morning when I weighed myself. And I'm down 4 pounds. Yeah, that's not like shocking or whatever, but that is literally without counting calories, without exercising my ass off, like pretty much without trying, pretty much with just focusing on feeling happier and like taking care of my mental well-being, and then trying to incorporate some of the healthier habits. So 4 pounds in 6 weeks is about 3/4 of a pound a week. So even though that's not like shocking and dramatic, I believe it's permanent and most importantly, sustainable. I don't have any doubt that this is it for me, that like this is what's going to work, that I finally actually changed my mindset, and I'm like out of that fucking diet rut that I was in for over 25 years. Like, I literally did not deprive myself of anything over these last 6 weeks. And most importantly, I'm happy. I just feel like this is the year that I'm going to become who I've always wanted to be, and like who I really am, you know? Okay, now that is all for part 2 of my I'm done dieting, get happy with me plan. I will be back for part 3 in about another 6 weeks. So I hope to see you back here in 6 weeks. Until then, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next vlog.